Well, hello everyone. It is April, and today I'm here to share with you what I read in February. Is it like mid-March at this point? Yes, I have not gotten around to filming in a little while. The whole family got quite sick. Barry and I had strep throat. So it's taken a while, but here I am ready to share with you what I read in February. If you can hear a little doggy downstairs crying for her mummy, that is Winnie, and she is glued to me. And I don't let her in my library yet because she's still got the chew thing going and she loves to chew on wood and things, and like, my library is precious. So she's not coming in here yet. But that's what that noise is. I didn't read a lot in February, I will say. It was not a lot of reading. I'm very mixed. We're going to start with a DNF. I ended up DNFing Leviathan Wakes by James Corey. I think I got 50 pages in and I decided, okay, this is a huge book. And if a book can't suck me in 50 pages, it's just not for me. I found the dialogue slightly annoying. I wasn't connecting with any of the characters. And so as a result, just not wanting to go and pick it up, I thought it's better to just DNF it. Like, this is the start of an enormous series. And I will not be reading the enormous series. I would rather read series that like hook me in and I really want to read. So I'm going to be passing this along. Hopefully someone else will love it. It's very beloved sci-fi series. So yeah, just not for me. And then you guys are going to be so proud of me. I am so proud of me. I finally read The Bassarock and it was very good. I gave this 5 stars. Such a good book. This really explores violence against women through the centuries. We follow 3 women of 3 different timelines, and all of them are being objectified, and all of them are being attacked in some way by men, and it shows the scariness, truthfully, that men can inflict upon women. And one thing that I really didn't understand at the beginning, but really came to admire towards the end, was the chapters don't say the character's name. So you yourself as the reader need to understand who is who. It's not that hard because they're completely different centuries, but you don't know when Ruth is going to be coming into a new chapter, or Viv or Sarah. You have to do that yourself to differentiate them. And I think the point of that was that they are all interlinked and interwoven. Their stories are interwoven, that this violence against women is happening over and over again, continues no matter the century, just in different ways. And in some cases, not in different ways, but I thought that was so well done. I was really, really impressed by this book. I can't wait to read her other book on my shelves, All the Birds Singing. So I finally read it, guys. I'm so glad. And I'm keeping it on my shelves because it was absolutely incredible. Another 5-star book, and might be the last 5-star book on this little list here, is Stay With Me by Ayobami Adebayo. This was a beautiful, beautiful book. This follows a woman in Nigeria. Her husband and her have decided together that they will not be introducing another wife into the mix of their marriage, which is a custom in Nigeria. And then the in-laws come and essentially force this man to take another wife, and it really affects their marriage. She has been struggling. Our main character, well, I'm forgetting her name. How did that happen? In any case, our main character is struggling with infertility, and that is the reason given for taking another wife, because she will give you babies and you guys can still be in this committed relationship. I found this very devastating. I listened to this on audio, highly recommend the audio. The narrative was incredible, very, very good. But this was one of the hardest books I've read in a while. Definitely the hardest book I've read this year so far. With my history of miscarriage and infertility, it definitely brings a lot up and more. And I am the type of person that, like, I want to read about infertility and miscarriage and the hard experiences I've had in my life because I want to be known. This book was too hard for me. So I would just like caution people who have dealt with miscarriage, infertility, death of children. It's a tough one. I did feel unbelievably protective of our main character, and I felt helpless in a lot of ways because I'm just reading this book. It felt very real in many ways. And as much as it is incredibly sad and incredibly hard to read, there are a lot of moments about love and motherhood in this book that I really did enjoy as it went along. Hard read, good read. 5 stars. Next is The Listeners. This was up for the Giller Prize. I ended up giving this 3 stars. This follows a woman named Claire who lives in the suburbs, has a normal life. She's a teacher, like a high school English teacher. And she wakes up one day and hears a noise. And she doesn't know what the noise is. And she just keeps looking around for it. It's like a hum. And she needs to locate it because it's kind of driving her insane. She's not able to sleep because of it, and the noise goes on and on and on, and she's trying to find out what the noise is. I love that premise so much. I just needed to know through the book, I will say, what this noise was. Like, I, as a person, was just so curious and needed to find out. I really struggled with Claire, though. Claire is an unbelievably pretentious person, in my opinion. And I really struggle with pretentious characters. It is one of those things that I just can't stand. I don't want to spend time with pretentious people in my own life. I don't want to spend time with pretentious people on the page. Like, I couldn't read The Secret History by Donna Tartt because of this reason. And yet the reason that I kept going was because of this noise and wanting to know what it was. Claire was not only pretentious, but I think she was also a sexual predator. She has a very inappropriate relationship with one of her high school students. She, throughout the book, is saying that it was not sexual in nature. However, there are things done in this book that cannot be taken away from being, like, you can't strip it from its sexuality when you are changing in front of a student. Yeah, anyway, I hated Claire. I still hate Claire with every fiber of my being. I will say that it's not like a situation in this book where you have everything sorted out with a little bow at the end where you know what the noise is, you know everything. It's got a like perfect explanation. It's not like that. I don't mind that, but I know a lot of people would find that frustrating. In any case, I gave her 3 stars. Claire is a total jerk. Moving on. Next, I gave 3 stars to Dolores Claiborne by Stephen King. This was our book club book for Patreon. Oh, I should mention, I have decided to end Patreon just because my life has been too insane to be able to do all of the things that I really want to do for my patrons. I love my patrons and they deserve my best, and I just haven't been able to give them my best. So March is the end of Patreon. In any case, this was our February book together, and I enjoyed Dolores Claiborne. I gave it 3 stars. This is about a woman, Dolores Claiborne, who is sitting in a police interrogation room, and her boss, Vera, has died very suddenly, and everyone in the village believes that she killed Vera. and she sits down and she's talking about her relationship with Vera and her relationship with her husband. And she admits straight away in this book that she did kill her husband, but she didn't kill Vera. And it's about her relationship with Vera as her housekeeper, and of course her relationship with her husband, who was a very abusive man. I found it slightly confusing. I thought this book was going to be much more about Vera and Dolores and their relationship, and much of it was. And some of those scenes were very strange. There's a lot of poop stories in here and dust bunny stories, very strange. But I was definitely invested in the relationship between these two women more than anything else. But it did actually really take a turn and really quite focused on Dolores's relationship with her husband, who was incredibly abusive in every way. I was not expecting sexual abuse to pop up here, sexual abuse against a child. That is something that I usually need, like a this is coming kind of, I don't know, some sort of warning, because it's really something that angers me beyond belief. I found that really hard. I will say I also found the narration hard, because this whole book is essentially a monologue. This is Dolores Claiborne sitting down at a police station talking to a policeman the entire time. You don't hear from anyone else. There are no chapters whatsoever. And so when I first started this book, like I usually like read until there's a chapter break and then I'll put it away and go to sleep or whatever. And there wasn't any. It was okay. But I did find that a little bit hard at times. I feel like, once again, with Stephen King, like I genuinely think Stephen King loves writing, maybe more than any other author, because I feel like he just writes for himself. Like I feel like he sits down and just starts writing and he's like, this is fun, I'm gonna throw this in there, I'm gonna do this, and it's just like a playful thing for him. And I feel as the reader that I'm shut out of every single book that he's ever written, because it feels like it's for him and him alone, honestly. But anyway, it's just a bit of an aside. But I did enjoy Dolores Claiborne. Not going to keep it on my shelves because I gave it 3 stars, but was very good. Last but not least is Beloved by Toni Morrison. I had never read Toni Morrison before reading this book, and I cannot believe that is true. I listened to this on audio, and I'm going to tell you the star rating that I gave this and then a brief explanation. I gave this 3 stars. Now this was it's not you, it's me situation, and I fully recognize that. I really struggled with the audio. Toni Morrison ended up narrating it herself, and she has a very distinct auditory style where she takes breaths almost like poetry, kind of randomly, and it's very stylistic. And I found for myself that form of narration stopped me from getting immersed into the storyline itself. And the storyline is so compelling, and was compelling, where you meet a woman who has escaped slavery. Her child did die, and the ghost of this child has followed her in her life and lives with her in her home. And it is about the history, her own personal history, the history of her with this child, this ghost, and then her trying to move on in some way. And it's haunting. It really is a haunting kind of story. I wish that I had read this in physical form and not audio, but that's a me thing. Like, it's Toni Morrison reading to you. I'm almost insulted by myself that I didn't like it as much as I wanted to. I'm going to leave it there. Do not listen to me. If this makes you not want to pick up Beloved, don't listen to me. It's Toni Morrison. Okay. All right. We'll leave that there. Those are all the books that I read in February. Let me know in the comments below what you read. Did you read any really, really amazing books? Did you have a new favorite book? I'd love to know, and I will talk with you very soon. Bye, guys.